Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Wife fell out of love with me when our son was born, and had an affair with an army guy she is on the COVID team with for our state. Advice: I am 2 months into our separation, but a divorce is coming as soon as possible. It all started when my son was born 10 months ago. My wife was told it was gonna be a long day of laboring, and I told her I was going to let the dogs out and take a quick shower. Her dad and my mom were up at the hospital, so I thought it would be fine. However, I said no, I will just go home quickly and come back after a shower. However, I never left, and about 30 minutes later my son's heart rate dropped and they had to perform an emergency C-section. I was able to be in there and hold my wife's hands while she was having our child. I do know that this was a very traumatic experience for her, and I was happy I was there for her. Later during the week, the doctors had told her she should be able to go home, and I had said I think we should go home. She did not want to and said her mom would come stay with her that last night. I had stayed with her every night before then. Now I did get upset with her, and in hindsight that was the wrong thing to do, because I did want us to go home because I was worried about her mental state. Fast forward 8 months and my wife would barely even talk to me or look at me. This was during March and the height of the COVID-19 efforts to flatten the curve. She was on the COVID-19 response team for our state, and I also work in the healthcare field, so I was working full-time as well. However, I would go pick up our son from her mother, bring him home, feed him, bathe him, play with him and get him ready for bed every night. However, one Sunday my son was in a lot of pain and very constipated. Instead of taking my son to the doctor with me, my wife decided to go see one of her close friends. This made me very upset, because she did not seem to care about our son at all. The next week I took our child to her parents' anniversary party while she was at work. That night when she got home, she barely talked to me or looked at me or our son, and I finally shouted, "What is wrong with you? And do you even want to save our marriage?" She said she didn't know. Fast forward another week, my wife brought both my parents and her parents over, and in front of all of them, and I listed everything I have done wrong and that she wanted a divorce. I was shocked because even though she had said she didn't know if she wanted to work on our marriage, she never said she wanted a divorce outright away. I asked her to go to counseling with me multiple times for our marriage and our son, and since COVID-19 was still going on, she stayed in the house with me for another month. But she got even more distant when she came home at night. She would not play with our son or even interact with him. All she would do was clean the dishes, eat the meal I cooked and go to sleep. She refused counseling with me, and after a few counseling sessions for myself, I decided to press and ask her why she did not want to be with me. She then told me again that she had fallen out of love with me in the hospital. She told me she hated her body and she didn't even know if she loved herself. She finally confessed that she had had an affair with some army man on her response team. I had asked her a few times during the month, and every time she lied to me. I did shout, "How could you do this to our family? And did he know that you had a family?" She said yes, he did. And that she did not regret anything. She also had been lying to her family, telling them that it was all my fault. And her sister even told me she was sorry because she was listening to what my wife was saying and that it was my fault. When I confronted my wife about this, she shrugged and looked at me and said, "I knew I would have to go stay somewhere, so I lied to them about you." Before my son was born, my wife would do anything for me, and I tried to do anything for her. I thought we were madly in love, yet my wife would tell anybody that she did not want to have a child, but she was going to have one for me. We are now in a custody battle with no reconciliation in sight. I do wish we could reconcile for our family, love and son, but it does not seem to be something that will happen. So does anybody out there have any idea what happened? Before she left, she did say she did not have a bond with her son and that she should listen to others when they said do not have a child for somebody else. There were no pictures of our child up in our house before she left, which is something I should have looked at as well. She also told me that she had this image of what our family should be and that we were not it. She also said that she should be happy because of our family, but she was not. She did try to leave our son with me, but her parents made her come home. Again, does anybody have any idea what happened? I was not a perfect husband. I did talk down to her some, which was bad, and I did work on it after she told me she had fallen out of love with me. But she had never brought it in and out before. However, I did/do love my wife, and I try to do everything I could for her and my son. My son is now 11 months old, and it crushes me that I do not get to see him every day. I would love to ask my wife how she can do it, but she will not tell me. So again, if anybody has any thoughts or suggestions on what to do and how to move forward, I would greatly appreciate it. Because every time I hear of COVID-19, I think of my wife and how she had an affair while I was at home keeping our child, but how she still can take him from me at least half the time. I also miss my old wife, who seems to have changed due to childbirth. Thank you for any information. DNA of that kid. Military frowns on cheaters, report him. Yep, he is probably married too. Scorch their earth Genghis style. With the military, even if it's not a lead pipe lock proof wise, a preponderance of evidence, or sometimes just the appearance of impropriety will get him UCMJ punishment. Do not like the civilian courts then? Okay, I will see what I can find out. Thank you. Well, the military justice system works very differently. It is more efficient and expedient than what you are used to. If he is indeed married, then he is very screwed. Please acquire evidence. Things that may not be acceptable or useful in a civil court will often be more than enough to light a fire under a military member, often career-ending, especially if an officer. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. They had zero issues screwing you. Do it, dude. You will destroy his world, like he destroyed yours. He will lose his retirement, he will lose his rank, possibly dishonorable discharge, and so on. My uncle was in the military and he had an affair with a neighbor, and my aunt let him know hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Remember, in 8 states you're allowed to sue the other party, the guy, as well for alienation of affection. Woman in North Carolina or South Carolina sued her ex-husband's affair partner and won an $8 million judgment. Wow. Okay, I'm going for it. I'd also use it as a bargaining chip for your divorce. If she cares for the guy, or if she leaving you for him, I'd tell her that unless I get what I want, I'd go for everything, including the house, cars, child support, half her retirement, and alimony. I'll be reporting him to the Military Conduct Review Board, being that your guy's affair violates military law, and therefore he will lose everything he has spent his entire life working for, which means the life you're planning with him is non-existent. I'd still turn him in, but I'd also use it for my benefit. You are my spirit animal. I hope you know that. I believe there are things going on with her that will require professional therapy to unpack. Not bonding with her child, and her depression after the birth sounds like postpartum depression. She needs to see a doctor. Her detachment from you and infidelity may or may not be related. She has definitely nuked the marriage and has left you no other choice but to try to come through it as best as you can. I am sorry, man. Take care of yourself. You need to be in the best shape possible for your child. Man, I wish. I have no idea who it is. Thank you for the advice. My main goal will be taking care of my son and myself. That includes protecting us. My heart aches for you and your son. I hope she is getting help. Has she bonded with your son yet, or is she just parenting because her family expects it? Fight for yourself and your son. Trauma counseling may help. She comes from a very conservative family where the women are expected to have babies as soon as possible. She would be shamed by then if she let him go. I cannot say if she has or hasn't. I can tell you with the very little interaction I have, she has not. Well, the military justice system works very differently. It is more efficient and expedient than what you are used to. If he is indeed married, then he is very screwed. Please acquire evidence. Things that may not be acceptable or useful in a civil court will often be more than enough to light a fire under a military member, often career-ending, especially if an officer. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. They had zero issues screwing you. It has been almost 90 days since D-Day and I am happy. Post-separation. Most of you know my background. For an update, I am working on getting the AP court-martial that my wife was with. I am also fighting for primary legal custody, looking very good for me, and possible majority of physical custody. What I am shocked about is how good I am feeling. There are times where I am sad, but for the most part I am happy now. Has anybody else felt this way around 90 days after the marriage fell apart? Yes. Good on you. I wish that I was there to high-five you and buy you a celebratory beer. Good work and good luck getting custody. Your spouse clearly doesn't make good life choices. Sounds like your ex will barely be involved in her child's life post-divorce. How sad. She's a mess, so maybe it's a good thing. It's a journey with good and bad days, so take it a day at a time and focus on being the best parent for your child because he's gonna need it. Well, I'm glad you are happy. I'm surprised that your wife has not snapped out of her affair fog yet. The idea of being a single mother was not shocking enough. It sounded in your older posts that her family knows it was her infidelity that ended the marriage. I do hope you succeed in seeing consequences be delivered to her AP. She is still living with her sister and has not kept our son alone. She is always working. In fact, he got very sick, not COVID, and she would not keep him. So I kept him and took care of him. When she moves out this weekend into her own place, it might hit. I believe she knows I will not take her back though. Wow, abandoned her son. That's a great way to demonstrate fitness as a mother and wife. Surviving feels good. Revel in it. Your joy is part of her consequences. Hooray for you. Has your wife shown any remorse or reached out to apologize? I'm happy that you are doing well, man. I've heard from others that it definitely keeps getting better once everything is finalized. No, she has not. She told me she would not regret her decision. I used to want that from her, but now I don't care. My happiness is not tied to her any longer. Has your wife shown signs of mental disorder? This is very strange behavior. Did she not want to be a mother and felt you pressured her into it? She never wanted to be a mother. She would always tell me before we had our child that I never wanted children until you. I will be honest, being a male, that would always flatter me and make me want children even more. However, afterwards she told me she should have listened to others when they said not to have a child for somebody else. She also said she gave me the gift of our child and I did not appreciate her enough for it. I'm not sure if it is mental or not. I honestly don't care at this point. All I care about is doing what is best for my son, and that is him being with me as much as possible. Unrelated, mostly. How is the court-martial going? Any blowback from that? It went very well for me. That is all I can say. People continue to tell me karma is real, but do cheaters get what is coming to them? Advice. Most people I talk to say karma will get your wife for cheating. However, is that true in most cases? Maybe it is my ego, but I really want to know that she will suffer for what she did. I used to dwell on this a lot until I realized having any part of my happiness contingent on his eventual suffering was just giving him power over me. Instead of wondering if they'll ever pay for what they did to you, consider instead that they're already paying for it. How? Firstly, they lost a faithful, trustworthy, high-value spouse, you. Secondly, if they're with the AP, they got a low-value deal. Why anyone would choose a known cheater is beyond me, with a home wrecker and likely repeat offender. Thirdly, they have to live with themselves. What's worse than living with and loving an entitled narcissist? Being one and making the same mistakes over and over. This is great, thank you. Is it normal for them to keep all our photos up on social media? Post-separation. For those who don't know, my wife started her affair last April 1st. A custody battle ensued, and for the child's sake we have stopped. I inched her out of custody. This is unheard of in my state for a father to do BTW. Anyways, the dust is settling and I am in a much better place. More importantly, our child is doing amazing. I could not be prouder of them. However, a friend of mine approached me the other day and asked why my ex-spouse still has old photos of us up on Facebook. This includes wedding photos, etc. I told them I have no idea since I blocked her a long time ago. However, it got me thinking. Is this normal? I have deleted all of our photos. I'm sure it is an oversight of hers, but I find it odd. She is with her boyfriend, the guy she left me for still. It does not change anything and I am shocked. I actually am wondering about this. It is a waste of your time attempting to understand why. There's a million different possibilities ranging from she just forget and doesn't care to she wants you back and everything in between. Kindly ask the friend to no longer inform you of what is going on in her life. It's unhealthy for your recovery and leads you to get stuck on silly questions that you will never find a fulfilling answer and just burn emotional energy that doesn't help you move on. The only answer that should matter to you is who cares? She's my ex and it's no longer my concern. Get to that level of indifference. It takes a lot of time, distance and self-work. It is all about her. She wants her friends to think that she is the good person and that she wanted this marriage with you so much and that she liked it so much to be married to you. Social media is only very rarely about what a person truly feels. Social media is all about to influence what other people think of you. In the end, it doesn't matter why she does that because it doesn't change a thing for you. Stay on your path and maybe ask your friend to no longer tell you what is going on with your STBXW's social media. Some people are incredibly lazy about photos on social media. I probably have pictures of my ex on Facebook since it would take more than zero effort to delete them. I'd be more concerned about the friend who thinks you need updates. Thank you for all the support. Progress man, what a ride. It has been over a year now, and the divorce was finalized on July 2nd. I got my justice and moved on. The progress I have made is staggering. Work is going fantastic. My finances are marvelous, my physical build is back to how I was in college. Women notice me, and my confidence is through the roof. My mental health is fantastic, and spiritually I am at peace. Most importantly, my baby boy is simply incredible. I have worked on my EQ and trained hard on how to handle challenging situations. I'll continue to improve myself since I am my son's primary custodial parent. I am also always on guard and will not hesitate to do what I need to ensure he has the best life. You may think I mean going into a custody battle again, and while I will not back down if another struggle happens, I mean something different. By saying whatever is necessary to give him the best life, I mean working with his mom, even after what she did. I forgive her, but I will never forget what she did, which was my key to success. If it weren't for many of you out there, I wouldn't be who I am today for my son. Thank you for listening and helping me heal. My son will be a better man for it. Congratulations and good that you are doing it like this. Has she shown regret or something? Is she still with her boyfriend? What does her family think of all this? Did she come to want to have the bond with her son? I requested the courts send us to co-parenting counseling. In one session, the counselor pushed her hard to apologize to me. She wouldn't do it. I was shocked she didn't because our counselor's testimony carried a lot of weight in court. My ex strongly dislikes me, and I am pretty sure she wants me dead. Her family doesn't care. All they care about is the family. They are upset about the custody status only. I still work with them, though. She was with him, but now IDK and honestly do not care outside of who is around my son. I know everything about the boyfriend and can ensure my son's safety around that man if they are still together. Thank God for buys. She did switch to being more of a mom figure to our son and bonding with him. That is why I backed off some. I'd if she had a change of heart, or honestly, she got scared into having a bond with him. Whatever it was, I am just glad it happened for our son. I am happy that you are finding your center within this mess that you never asked for. I somehow feel like your ex is suffering from some form of mental break due to PPD. This definitely does not mean there is any excuse for anything she did. Did you get the boyfriend kicked out? Be really careful your ex does not blindside you with something underhanded. You keep gathering evidence so that you can respond with both barrels, because you know that your child will not be better off with her, she is just too selfish. Do not worry. Every text is backed up to 2 cloud systems. I take daily notes backed up to the clouds. Record any interactions, one-party consent state, sent to the clouds. His day school teachers communicate with me consistently. We use the day school as the exchange for the visitation time she has with him. Holidays exchanges are in public locations with recordings. I make sure his day school has the official orders as well as his pediatrician. Last but not least, my ex requested I not seek an at-fault divorce. She didn't want adultery on her record. I refused and was granted a divorce because of infidelity. While this adultery is not supposed to matter if a custody case comes up again, it will matter a little. In a game of inches, every inch counts. I will always be ready. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's the thing. As you can tell, I really wanted to know if she was. Now, I am at peace not knowing. Just like I am at peace with never getting the apology I wanted, or for her to regret it. I cannot say I don't care, because I do care still and most likely will always care. However, having that information won't change anything for me. I guess it goes with the whole forgive her, but never forget saying I use. He got demoted, or taken down a few ranks due to it. My understanding, it hurt his wallet a fair amount. Come to find out he was married with kids too. That was his second marriage and had kids with his first wife as well. Apparently he has around 4 kids. So I am not sure he has much money due to child support. I had proof he left his family for what happened and that hurt him. 2 years and damn I'm crushing life. Life after divorce. It has been 2 years since it all ended. My ex cheated when our son was not even 6 months old at work. I worked full-time and cared for our son. I am the dad. At the time, my life was over. 2 years later, I just purchased a 3,200 square foot house in the best school district in my area on my own and bought a ring for my girlfriend. My son, of who I have primary custody, is doing great. He sees his mom, and they have a healthy relationship that I do encourage even though it can be challenging. Am I bragging? Hell yeah, I am, because I have come out a stronger man from the darkest hour of my life. However, this post was meant to tell you all that if I can do it, so can you. I am nothing special, and I didn't have a lot of resources. I just kept the faith and gave myself grace. You deserve it, so treat yourself to the best. Life gets so much better when you get the cheater out of it. And life has a way of sorting itself out and showing who has integrity and who doesn't. Amen, friend. My update: surviving infidelity update still going great. Quick update. My son helped me propose to my girlfriend, and she said yes. My son, a toddler, handed her the ring, and asked her to marry his daddy. The boy played it amazingly. I moved into the new house. The amount of DIY projects is a little concerning, but I love every minute of it. My ex and I finally had a one-on-one conversation at our exchange. She told me she did not support or encourage me enough because of how well I was doing compared to when we were together. She also said it just went to show that we were not meant to be. At that, I did stop her and say maybe. Or maybe we did not communicate well enough and should have worked together on that. I then said, however, that's water so far under the bridge it's not worth even bringing up. She looked shocked, but that was it. I told her goodbye and left. Old me would have thought about what she said. New me thinks it's not worth my time or energy. My new life is not perfect, but I do love it. My soon-to-be wife is fantastic, our house is excellent, and yes, to me, my life is amazing. Yours is too. You got this. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.